At the same time, they were kayaking in a very, very difficult time. I mean, this is late April in the Hudson River. The water is freezing. Entering tonight's game, Guilderland's playoff path was crystal clear. Win, and they're in. Training will take about an hour, and students and faculty will learn to use items like an Israeli bandage and a tourniquet. 5 buildings were damaged by this fire, and due to its conditions, all 5 will have to be demolished. Take a look at this. This is where all the snow is being moved to, just outside the city in Glenmont. First responders are climbing the Corning Tower not once, but twice. So that means 42 floors, 2 times. Firefighters say make sure it's at least 4 inches thick. Anything less, and you could fall through the ice. And as they were seeking shelter, that's when they saw this large branch snap off.
Tonight's awards and scholarships cover a lot of territory. Many of the awards, which you'll hear about, have special meaning and personal stories attached to them.
At Mahonison High School, it's Academic Awards Night. Several scholarships and awards are being given out this evening. That includes the Deborah A. O'Donnell Roman Memorial Scholarships.
Just as a person, no one has a bigger heart than Debbie.
She was a very funny, amazing person, and I'm glad she came into my life.
She established a phenomenal program here at Mahonison.
That program is English as a Second Language. Deborah Roman taught it to elementary students for nearly 20 years.
It was magical watching her work with her students, to have a group of 8 students that spoke different languages and to see their progress and how they acquired the language so quickly.
She wouldn't give up on you. She just wouldn't yell at you ever. She'd always just help you out, even if it seems like it's impossible to learn.
Mrs. Roman made it possible by ensuring all her students got the best education, never letting a student fall through the cracks. Dedicated to helping students learn English as a second language until her passing.
If I remember correctly, the superintendent had to call me because I didn't believe them at all. And then, they told me to turn on the news.
It was early February 2016. According to police, Mrs. Roman and her youngest son were killed by her husband at their Latham home in a murder-suicide. The oldest son wasn't home at the time.
It rocked our worlds. It was just shocking and devastating.
It is and it was unbelievable.
The days and weeks that followed were difficult for many, including her colleagues. But her school wanted to make sure her integrity, perseverance, and acceptance continued to be shared.
Within a week or 2 after she died, former district administrator Diane MacGyver knew what needed to be done to start a scholarship, and that was something we felt that Debbie would want.
We knew that it would be very important for her that there was stability and consistency for them. I think that really guided us to come together and do what was best for the kids.
3 months after her death, her colleagues awarded the first scholarship to graduating ESL students. Now in its 4th year, 11 scholarships will be awarded after tonight. And this year, a former student is presenting the scholarships. I was in the English as a Second Language program from kindergarten through the 3rd grade, and during my time there I had a very special teacher named Mrs. Roman. For 4 years, Mrs. Roman was also my ESL teacher, helping me learn a language that I utilize every day for a living. She helped me tremendously during that time. Tonight, 3 scholarships are handed out, including one to my sister, who also had Mrs. Roman.
She'd be so proud of you.
And without her, I would not be where I am today.
It means the world to have you doing this story on her and paying tribute to what she did for you and what she does for all of her students.
Today, the ESL program, now known as ENL, English as a New Language, continues to be taught by Mrs. Roman's colleagues, sharing her work and legacy with students learning English.
I'm sure she's up in heaven teaching ESL up there. For anybody who doesn't speak English, I bet you she's teaching it up there.
In Rotterdam, Jackson Wang, Spectrum News.
Here we go. Shoot and score. Okay, let's go. Bring it in here real quick.
LaSalle head coach Tim Flanagan is getting his team ready for a big game this weekend. The Cadets are hosting the Capital District Jets, a team they lost to earlier this season.
Every game's important for us.
But when LaSalle takes the ice, they will be playing for more than themselves.
There's no better feeling than giving back to those who fight for us.
The Cadets are also playing for veterans. LaSalle is hosting the 3rd annual Cadets for Vets Saturday night. The event raises money for those who served our nation.
It was an idea that was fostered by the players on our LaSalle hockey team and it's really grown into a tradition.
Last year, the fundraiser collected more than $8,000. The cadets are hoping to top that through donations, a 50-50 drawing, and t-shirt and hat sales. All proceeds will be given to the Albany Housing Coalition.
It's nice to see future leaders do this type of fundraising event for our veterans that are in need.
Lee Vardigan is the director of Veteran Services. He says this money will help purchase furniture for homeless veterans transitioning into permanent housing.
The people and the booster clubs and the support and the cadets themselves have been amazing.
In addition, SEFQ will be donating $500 for every goal the cadets score. So that means the offense is going to have to bring their A game.
Our team has really picked it up, and so hopefully we continue it. We can really show those vets that we're really putting forth effort for them.
Even with snow in the forecast, the puck is still scheduled to drop at 7:15 Saturday night at HVCC's Conway Ice Rink.
We got it?
In Troy.
Let's go. You're on camera, so let's do well. Come on.
Jackson Wang, Spectrum News.
Peach has think of the tree with the elephant hide.
Fred Bruglia knows a lot about trees.
There's complications that arise from multiple trunk trees, and is it really one tree? Is it two trees?
So much so, he's even earned a nickname.
At first it was kind of like you heard it a few times, but then people refer to me as the Tree Man now, and even my license plate on my truck says Tree Man.
The Tree Man has been big tree hunting since his college days. Bruglia travels around the state to measure these trees and records his findings in the state big tree register.
At one point I had 3/4 of probably the New York State champion list all under my name.
It's pretty competitive, which has motivated Bruglia to keep seeking the biggest trees. But the Landis Arboretum executive director has also used it as an opportunity to advocate the importance of protecting these old trees. He has been able to do that through a Facebook group called Big Tree Seekers.
I always feel like if you can get someone to like a big old tree, they're going to be way more to protect that big old tree.
Over the years, tens of thousands of people from around the world joined the group, sharing pictures of big old trees and liking others. It got so much attention, it even caught Facebook's eye.
They actually contacted me and said, would you like to be part of a promotion to celebrate the group that you founded?
Bruglia and other members of the group went to California for a photo shoot last year. A few weeks later, the ad was up in several cities, including New York City.
The Times Square billboard was literally 3 city blocks, and it stood for about a month, if not more.
Since this publicity, Bruglia says more people have joined the Facebook group as it approaches 50,000 members. He hopes this will help grow interest for big trees as they continue to protect them.
This group makes it seem a little bit more smaller, a little bit more able to grasp the world, and it's an incredible flora.
In Esperance, Jackson Wang, Spectrum News.